everyone, my name's James Ivey.
Hi, Drew.
From the Studio Rats.
Yes. I love in the intro, I was watching the screen above us and your head just kept going in.
Because I'm trying to make sure I turn them off and on at the same time.
I see. Here's the first issue with Tube Screamers.
It turns out...
No, the crappy LEDs they put in there, in the real Tube Screamers.
You can't see them off axis. I am quite new to the Tube Screamer party.
How can you be new to Tube Screamers? It's like the basic pedal that everyone had when they were kids.
Well, I didn't. I had a governor.
That was
governor was my first pedal.
That's a better pedal, to be honest.
Actually, no. To be fair, a DoD hard rock distortion was my first pedal.
Rotten.
But I've wiped that out of my brain. Yeah. So the governor was my first proper pedal.
Do you know what mine was?
What's that?
A HM2 heavy metal pedal, Boss.
However, I now have this baby, which is probably a few years old now. Reissue.
It's a reissue one, yeah.
The TS808 Tube Screamer.
Nice.
Yours is the TS9, which is probably the more sort of familiar form factor.
Yeah.
And then we've got two.
Oh, I don't know. I think that's just the old vintage style.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then we've got two more boutique-y style pedals. We've got a Duellist, which is a Tube Screamer and a Blues Drew.
Yeah, Blues Breaker or Blues Drub, yeah, whatever one.
And then we've got the Eathquaker Palisades, which is, by the looks of it, a Tube Screamer on acid.
It's the best Tube Screamer style pedal ever.
Well, we'll discuss this.
Oh, yeah, okay, fair enough.
And I thought, you know, as someone new to the TS party, I would have a play and see which ones we like, which ones we don't like, potentially.
Yeah.
And what's all this Tube Screamer lark about? And first things first.
Well, first things first, we should discuss your wiring because it's terrible. This is not that pedal show, is it? Look at the state of this.
I think you'll find it's your wiring, but hey. So this is my one. This is the traditional. These two are the traditional ones. Then we've got our two kind of super hybrid ones. We're not going to dig into all the extra stuff that these ones do. It's all about that kind of Tube Screamer sound. So first things first, why a Tube Screamer? What do they do? Why do they do what they do, etc.?
Well, the idea of a Tube Screamer was to make it sound like your amplifier was turned up.
Right.
So back in the day, and actually probably still now, we can't really turn amplifiers up. So hence the Tube Screamer, to make it sound like your amp is driving at its proper levels. Luckily, we've got things like attenuators now, so we don't have to suffer with Tube Screamers.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah.
But they also do that thing to the bottom end, don't they? They tighten up the bottom end, and that's the other thing, especially with amps that are well cranked. You get that extra amount of bottom end and stuff, and you might want to tighten it up. And so I've heard you certainly say, let's put a Tube Screamer on it to tighten up the bottom end. Yeah. And that seems to be what they do.
But there's a trick with that. You're not actually using the overdrive circuit in the Tube Screamer. Just take the overdrive down, and then it sort of takes. Especially something like a Mesa Boogie rectifier. There's a big sort of bass hump. So what you want to try and do is to reduce that bass hump by bringing in the Tube Screamer. So loads of metal bands use Tube Screamers for that reason. So
you're running guitar into the Palisades, into the TS9, 808. Duellist, then straight into the overdrive reverb. Yes.
What we're going to do actually, I've got the buffer turned off on the Palisades. Maybe we'll try it both. We'll try it both ways, just in case we're sort of losing a bit of signal and stuff. But yes, and then we're going into the overdrive reverb, the Amplified Nation overdrive reverb. And the clean tone sounds like this.
And the theory with the settings to start with was that we had everything at 12 o'clock, and then we used the level or volume, whichever they're called, to try and even out the actual output level. So we're going for the overdrive and the tone at 12 o'clock, and then using the level to give us. It's not scientific. We're not going down to the nth degree of dBs or anything like that. So they roughly sound the same level. So it's kind of trying to give us the same a similar level output idea.
Yeah. Okay, well, should we look at these two first?
Yes.
Because I'd like to know what the difference is between these two. Okay, I'm just going to play like a little rhythmy riff.
Yep.
Yeah, that's interesting. way more mid focus on that one.
Yes. Yeah.
I prefer the clarity of the TS9, and
Right.
maybe that's what people would tell us. I'm sure people would tell us.
They usually do.
Maybe that's the difference between an 8 and a 9. That's
But
way more
it's
mid.
very, very close.
Okay. Okay, can you crank the gain up a bit?
Yep, I should go to 3 o'clock.
Okay.
Ready?
Yep. I mean, you know, they sound more or less the same, don't
That's 6 of one, half dozen the other, isn't it?
they? More or less, yeah. Crank them up. Go on. Go on. Let's go full beans.
All the way.
Darker. What's that one?
That's your one.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah.
So it changes as the EQ circuit goes up. Okay. So, I mean, I'm not a massive fan of tube screamers.
Why are we doing this then?
You brought them over. And then you get the more boutique sort of tube screamers, and a couple of companies make them. The Duellist, one side of it is a tube screamer, and that's the side we're going to be using. Quite surprised about this.
Mm-hmm. It sounds. I want to set. Let's go between these two just because they're next to each other. Because we can.
Yeah.
Right. We'll start with the clean and then go into something else.
There we go. Okay.
Very dark.
Really dark. I mean, the great thing about the Duellist is that the EQ on it is pretty monster.
Mm-hmm.
You've got 3 settings on the Duellist. You can tell me what they are.
Fat. Stock. And glass.
Very subtle, but different EQ settings. And then you've also got this great, stick it on glass.
Yeah.
And then you've got the tone, which is way more active than a tube screamer. Similar though, isn't it?
Very similar. Now let's go to 3 o'clock on the drive as well.
Now they sound very similar. Isn't that funny? So with the Duellist, you've got to turn the tone up to make it sound
brighter, not super dark.
That's really interesting. Now this is a Mark 1 Duellist, so I know with the newer Duellist you've got switches on the side you can change a few more things, but that's really surprised me.
It seems that these two are remarkably similar, as you'd expect. You know that it was only ever going to be revision type changes, I would have thought, other than the actual chassis itself, and there's not that much difference between those.
No.
However, it does get interesting, and I'll set that back to there when we go between this and the Palisades.
Yes,
because this is a different beast.
It's a complete different beast.
So, start with the 808, and then we'll kick in that one.
Less than I thought, actually.
Yeah, there's not that much in it, is there? But again, I think if we crank the drive, I think
you'd be surprised with this.
Where we are.
Gain A.
Gain A, sorry, there we go. Right, here we go.
They sound the same.
They do, don't they? They really, really do sound the same.
Oh, how mad is that? Because I love the Palisades. Okay, this is really interesting. Can you now, is the Okay, what we're going to do now, let's switch on the buffer
Yeah.
on the Palisades. Just wait a second before you switch it over,
Yeah.
because most buffers work when the pedal is off. The buffer on this works also when the pedal is on,
Right.
and it makes a massive difference. So if you switch it on, first of all, without the buffer being in. And that is always how I use that Palisades, with that buffer switched in, because it adds this extra saturation to it. I'm sure that's not what it's supposed to be doing, but that's what it sounds like.
Yeah. And now there'll be a difference.
Clarity, oh yeah.
Right, now let's crank the tone on both.
I think you'll be shocked.
Yep.
Okay. Right, now, do me a favour, switch over the bright switch on the Palisades.
Yeah, to bright.
To bright.
Yep.
Bring the EQ or the tone to about middle.
Yarb. Let's have that one.
Buffer's in, yeah?
Buffer is in. I like the bright switch.
Brilliant, isn't it? It's a
really nice.
Great pedal. Do you know they don't make this pedal anymore, and it's absolutely brilliant.
Crazy. Well, I feel informed.
Well, let me show you how versatile the Palisades is.
Go on then.
Gain A.
Yes.
Gain B, and a boost. So this pedal does all your drive stuff in one pedal. So we've got gain A. Actually, can you bring the tone back a bit?
Yep. 12 o'clock.
Yeah, bring it back. It's about sort of 9 o'clock. Bring gain B. And the boost.
Nice.
Awesome, isn't it?
Well, I feel informed, which is a rare thing, I know, but...
and I need to get another one of them, because I worry that it's going to break on me and I won't have one, because I will miss that. I think that's one of the only drive pedals that if I didn't have it, I'll be gutted.
I can see why. But actually, the initial setup, obviously this has a lot more tweakability than the other ones.
Oh yeah, we haven't even gone into these knobs here.
Yeah, but I mean, as basic pedals, that bit on its own and that bit are all very, very similar.
Yeah.
You know, if Earthquaker and Kingtone had gone out to build a tube screamer, turns out they've done a pretty good job.
Yeah.
Which is good. Well done, everyone.
Well done, everybody. Great work. So yeah, you can either go and buy I don't know what tube screamer is now, it's probably about 90 quid, something like that.
Probably that.
Or boutique pedals, which cost a fortune. And sometimes the originals are pretty good.
Yeah, as it turns out in this case.
There we go. I really hope you guys got something out of this video. If you did get something out of it, don't forget to like and subscribe. Click on the bell button and you'll be notified of any future video that comes out from the Studio Rats. I'm Paul.
I'm James.
And we'll see you next time.